my best life. Wherever you are right now, you might as well just say that to yourself. I'm living my best life. Just say it. If you just say it, I'm living my best life, you become more and more available to the power and the presence, the love, the beauty, the intelligence, the abundance, all that God is. You're no longer inhibiting it. You're no longer blocking it. You're no longer putting it on the delay system. You're not living life on the layaway plan, saving life to some future existence in the sweet by and by. You're saying, as the choir was singing, I'm living my best life. And it is best that you say that when you feel the opposite. It is best that you say that when the emotional contagion of the world is on you. Say, I'm living my best life. Everything is working together for my good. All things work together for my good, and everything works together for good for they who love God. For they who love God and are embracing their divine purpose, of which we are about right here at the Agape International Spiritual Center. And so for those of you who have been following us for this particular month, you know that our theme has been, your ship is coming in. Your ship is in. Oops, have you sent one out? And so it's just a reminder that we're under the vibration of BBB, barraged by blessings, that our ships are always coming in, that God is always God. There's always a perpetual blessing from and as the Spirit of the living God, and that ship, that proverbial ship that we're waiting to come in is already here. It's pervading our being. It's here now. But are we a vibrational match to it? What are we broadcasting? Have we sent any ships out? Have we got into the spiritual habit of seeing ourselves as a generative being, sending ships out, radiating kindness, radiating patience, radiating brilliance, radiating prosperity, radiating joy, radiating kindness, radiating compassion? Are we sending ships out, or are we just waiting to be blessed? Once you shift your awareness and realize that you have been blessed by all the power and presence and the love of God, and that you're here to be a blessing, and that you are to regularly send ships out. Ship, spiritual. H is holy. I is infinite. P is presence. As you're sending your ships out, you become a perpetual habit of blessing. Now the static is off the line. Understand this. There's an eternal broadcast of the Holy Spirit perpetually giving of itself totally and completely. There's no static in the mind of God at all. There's only static in our individual expression of the one mind, fear, doubt, worry, lack, limitation, a dream of separation. As we are sending ships out, the static becomes less and less. And then we see, oh my God, my ship has come in. Blessings beyond my wildest imagining are multiplying in my life. And then I even begin to discover that which I was taking for granted were big blessings in my life that I had overlooked because my mind had habitually focused on the very thing that I thought was not working in my life. I focused so much on that I forgot that I was alive, that I existed. And so your ship has come in. You might as well just say that to yourself. My ship has come in. I'm swimming in an ocean of devotion. Everything is working together for my good. And then we understand, as we are celebrating the founder's birthday, that would be me, of course. As we're celebrating the founder's birthday, the topic of the day is, have you celebrated your second birthday yet? Now, the first birthday is when we were born into this existence, into the earth plane. We took a human incarnation. It's somewhere we were in the great beyond. We were in a different frequency of life, a different dimension of life. And then with our soul family, we said, let's go. and we jumped into the human incarnation. And that's our first birth. Coming into the earth plane, coming into human existence. Spiritual being having human existence. Spiritual being having human incarnation. Remember, over the years, Pierre Desjardins had said that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. For me, I've updated that particular statement to say that we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation, and we get to choose our experience, you see, when we become conscious. And so the first birth is when we take a human incarnation. The second birth is when we begin to spiritually awake and remember why we took the incarnation in the first place. That we begin to wake up and are able to tell the difference between the content that's passing through our awareness that we caught from human experience, that we caught from parental fantasies, that we caught. It could be heredity. It could be societal pressures. It could be belief systems of old religiosity. We begin to be able to tell the difference between the content from the human experience and our eternal nature and being. When that begins to happen, we have entered into our second birthday. Your second birthday is the day you remember why you incarnated. Your second birthday is the day that you wake up to your glorious nature. And until that happens, we are not a fully developed being. You are not a fully developed being until you have your second birthday. You may have all kinds of ducks lined up in different dimensions of your life. As we teach in the life visioning process, there are certain unstable structures that you can stabilize in your life. You can get your body together. You can have money. You can have a certain degree of health, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. You can have certain structures together. But until there is an awakening beyond superstition, beyond religiosity, beyond belief systems of some kind of guy in the sky, God, that sends you to hell if you're bad, until we wake up, we are not fully developed. We are immature spiritual beings, immature human beings. And so we are here to make ourselves available to our second birthday. I can remember my own incarnation as a young child, having indications of the larger field of awareness and having different kinds of experiences, and we've all had these. I'm not unique in this, in which suddenly you could see reality, suddenly you could feel the presence of God everywhere, whether it was in nature, whether it was at the beach and you saw the expansiveness of the ocean, or you looked into a rose and the flower and you saw eternity, whatever the case may be. But like so many people, I can remember quickly trying to close that down and come back to some kind of normality. This is not normal to feel at one with everything. This is not normal to feel this kind of deep, soulful love for everyone. This isn't normal. Let me close up. Until, as a young adult, there was a tremendous opening, and my real second birth happened, where I became awake and aware of the love that was penetrating me, the beauty that was all around me. And at that time, I did not call it God, because God at that time meant some kind of man in the sky that had anger management issues, you see? And so it was later on in my integration in the transformation of personalities and substrata of personalities integrating into the higher frequencies that I was able to stabilize to a degree the expanded nature of the spiritual domain. And my second birthday happened, and then there are iterations of that continual rebirth. The real meaning of being born again, you see, is to have that birth into the wider field of the dynamic good and love and peace and harmony and wholeness, and then stabilize it through spiritual practice in such a way that you are walking on the earth plane. You're walking in the world, but you are of a higher frequency. At Agape, we simply say we are seeking to be a beneficial presence on the planet at this time in human history and beyond, and thus having vibrational influence over the world, as I was sharing in the way of meditation service. As we wake up, we become less and less influenced by the world, less and less influenced by the waves, vibrational waves of the past. We become less and less influenced by heredity, less and less influenced by the vicissitudes of the human experience. And instead, we become influential vibrational beings. And the world as we see it as a fabric of collective beliefs and perceptions and positionalities and points of view that become malleable according to the vibration that we are carrying. And then there is this thought or this question about social pressure and peer group pressure. And if we could take social pressure, societal pressure, peer group pressure, and if we could put it under a microscope and see what it is, we would see there would be a big should there. What you should be and what you shouldn't be. And we could begin to see that pressure, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, or whether it is articulated through the media, or whether it's just in the atmosphere, we can see that individuals are under siege by this social and peer group pressure. But as you begin to wake up, you become immune to it. You're no longer conforming to the world, but you're being transformed moment by moment by moment by the renewing of your mind, your heart, and soul. And so you're no longer under siege of peer group pressure and societal pressure, which is just the condensation of previously held thoughts, beliefs, and that which has normalized war, that which has normalized in gun we trust, that which has normalized men trying to control women's bodies, that which has normalized men trying to say that same-sex love is a sin. We begin to be immune to that kind of pressure, and we begin to operate for a higher frequency. That does not mean we go anti. First, we don't become socialized into that, but we don't become antisocial either, you see? And we don't go into our feelings and say, well, I just don't feel like it. I'm going to go against the grain because of my... No. We don't go from one extreme to another extreme. Where do we go? We begin to see ourselves in the context of the power and the presence and the love of God. We're living, moving, and having our beingness in a larger field. So it's not social and it's not antisocial. Because if you're social or antisocial, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. You see? No. You ask, how can I be a blessing as I represent God? What would love do with my life right now? What would peace do with my life right now? What would joy do with my life right now? Not how am I going to fit in, or not how am I not going to fit in? How am I going to get away from this? No. That's still at the level of limited causative factors. We ask and we see that we are living and moving and having our beingness in the presence. Now, I say these words, but they are the finger pointing to the truth, finger pointing to the moon, because these words are to lead you and encourage you to sit long enough to have an insight that you're not living, moving, and having your beingness in society. Ugh, nasty. Nasty. Can you imagine people actually living in society and trying to derive their happiness from the peer group pressure and the social pressure that you see on the media and all the stuff that's going on in the world? You will be scared to death, as many people are. No. And then you don't want to go to the other extreme, just be totally antisocial. I'm not involved. No. We're living and moving and having our being in a larger context. And the way that you get there is through your spiritual practice, so that you give birth to an insight. And when that insight occurs, it's the extension of your second birth. First birth, human incarnation. Second birth, a remembrance of why you incarnated. Second birth is to be able to tell the difference between the content of the world and you as an eternal being, so that you're walking what? You're now under the law. You're not under the law of death. You're under the law of the teachings of the Christ. It's a whole different frequency, Reverend Joanne. You're under the law of the teachings of Jesus the Christ and Krishna and Buddha. You're under a different frequency, and this is what is necessary at this time in human history, because the unenlightened men are always against something, but they are not necessarily in tune with the is. They're in tune with what they don't want, but they're not in tune with what is that's trying to move through them. So they're either being socialized, oh, the media says I should do this, or they're being antisocial, no, I shouldn't do this. And they're not listening to the word of God, which is above and beyond both of those seeming polarities. You see, you enter into it by going into the closet of your own. I'm not talking about our gay brothers and sisters here. Don't do that. Enter into the closet of your own interiority. Do you transcend the world? Does it mean you don't catch the information in the world, but you don't live by it? You live from the dynamic of your oneness with the great power, the great presence, and the great love. Have you celebrated your second birthday yet? Have you come to an awareness that all of those great and magnificent pictures that we've been seeing from the new telescope, with all of the beauty and ever-increasing joy and expansion of the multidimensional universes and galaxies, have you got an inkling that all of that is within your awareness? An inkling. As you do, it's becoming your new birthday, you see, the day in which the eternal is born. I hear, behold, all things are made new. Now, here's what happens. You become a beneficial presence on the planet. You're no longer influenced by the world. Peer group pressure, social pressure, no. You become an influencer. I'm not talking about the modern day nomenclature about being an influencer and having likes and all of that. I'm talking about a vibrational influencer that walks into a room and knows who they are. That walks into a room and knows that they're an emanation of love and of harmony, of peace and compassion and kindness and generosity and creativity, and doesn't have to say anything. You just walk into the room and the room changes because you walked in there with the feeling tone of your oneness with God, you see. And so when people like you or don't like you, you're not here. It doesn't matter. It's not causing you any stress, whether you're liked or disliked. You're not looking to be liked. You're not trying to not be not liked. You're in love with God. And you're beginning to see God through the same eye that God sees you, as Meister Eckhart reminds us. So what happens? That vibration influences the room. And then together as a global community, with all the vicissitudes that we see in the world, the political polarization, the rising of racism and homophobia and hate, wars and rumors of wars. I mean, can you imagine the mindset of somebody dropping a bomb on somebody? Can you imagine the mindset of people that are making money off of war implements and guns? Can you imagine that? It's undeveloped. It's an undeveloped mind. And so you're able to walk in that world and be a developed being. And by your very stance in the eternal, you're beginning to shift the world. It may lead you into right action. It may lead you into emergence of creativity. It may lead you into spiritual activism. It may lead you into poetry that changes somebody's heart. It may lead you into a way that is active in the world. But it begins with your presence. Not influenced by the world. Not running from the world. But running with the vibration and the frequency of the Most High. So agape exists because I had a second birthday. Agape exists because those around me and the vision team had a second birthday. Agape exists because there's a bevy of practitioners, not just licensed. We got master practitioners, we got practitioners, we got people in classes having second birthdays. Exist because they're individuals all around the world having second birthdays. They came into this precious incarnation, but then are now remembering why they came and waking up to their glorious nature. That would be you, boo. That would be you. Yeah. Go ahead. Just, you can touch yourself above the waist right now and say, this is me. I can remember, just popped into my word, I can remember Dr. Ernest Holmes. He was at a conference, and the generator had broken for the air conditioner. Boiling hot, and they couldn't fix it. When he got up to speak, he said, God, this is me. Need I say more? And everything started working. You want to be so in tune with the sacred law, so in tune with your yielding to the presence of God, that whatever is going on in your life, you're able to say, God, this is me. Need I say more? God, I've had my second birth. Need I say more? God, I'm totally ensconced in the awareness of my oneness with thee. Need I say more? God, I'm so aware that everything is working together for my good. Need I say more? God, this is me. Need I say more? And that whatever seems to be out of order reveals an underlying chaos that's giving birth to an emergence of something new. Need I say more? This is where you want to live. Imagine for a moment, you have no fear. Anxiety, worry, anxiousness. All of that is related to the future. What's going to happen? How am I going to? What's going to happen? Oh. What if you could be right here, right now, and be so grateful for this breath? So grateful for the beating of your heart. What if you could scan your awareness and remember all the times you thought something bad was going to happen, but it didn't? And all the times it did happen, but you're still here? What if you could imagine all the blessings that have been bestowed upon you since the time that you came here, and be aware that you're blocking most of them because of your limited perception? Just open up. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I am blessed. Therefore, I am a blessing. So then you live in the question, how can I be a blessing today? Not how can I get what I want. Not how can I be right. How can I be a blessing? How can I represent peace? How can I represent love? How can I represent compassion to the best of my ability? How can I represent generosity? And how can I represent it? You'll be lifted out of the world into the queendom and kingdom of the Most High. Secret place of the Most High, under the shadow of the Almighty. You'll see all manner of normality in the world, but it shall not touch you, because you are making the Most High your habitation. You're living somewhere else. I'm telling you, it's possible. If it's happening for you right now, happy birthday. Your second birth Extremely important. And then the stabilization and integration of that expansion of your second birth. Becoming a fully conscious, fully franchised expression of infinity. Becoming more fully developed. Don't waste the incarnation. Become influential via your connection with the presence. And then we will celebrate your birth, your second birth, on a regular basis. Feel into that with me right now. Because we are here, not because me and we, the team that births this place. We're born into this dimension. We're celebrating because me and we had and are on the verge of second birthdays. Shoo. Becoming fully developed. Shoo. 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 It is in this consciousness that as a community, we pray now. P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y. Not preying on people. We are praying, having an insight and a revelation and a realization of our oneness with the presence. Beginning with a deep sense of connection with the presence by feeling a deep sense of gratitude and thanksgiving. Oh my God, please give yourself permission to be grateful right now. I know the surface mind might be fighting you on this. Your surface mind and the subpersonalities might be saying, wait a minute, there's so much about my life I don't like. There's so much about the world that's going on I don't like. Don't let that perception block your blessings. Come with me into the field of gratitude. Let this attitude lift you into the vibrational altitude of right seeing. God is everywhere. Love is everywhere. Peace is everywhere. Joy is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. Beauty is everywhere. Oh my God. Let gratitude lift you, that you may see with new eyes. And come to an understanding of the great scripture, eyes have not seen, nor ears heard. That which the presence of God has in store for they who love God and are answering the call to that high purpose of being. Woo, we see. And there's a recognition factor that's activated right now. Oh, I cannot help but see my blessings. I cannot help but see the presence of God. I cannot help but see how I got over. I cannot help to feel the support. I cannot help to feel that I'm embraced by a presence that's never an absence. Oh my God! I'm not trapped in my emotional body. I'm not trapped in the societal perception of lack and scarcity and fear and disease and all manner of things that go bump in the night. No. I'm captured by a vision. Woo! And I feel one with God. Oh, I can remember back in the day people would come up to me after talks and say, you can't say you're one with God. That's going to scare people. That's blasphemy. Just say God's operating through you. Just say don't say you're one with God. I say, oh no, I can't deny the presence. No. 30 years ago, people were nervous about us saying it. Now, it's become a part of the culture of those who are awake. My life is the life of God. I'm one with God because God is everywhere and is the only life. So my life must be an emanation of the only life there is. The waves are saying I'm one with the ocean. The sunbeams are saying I'm one with the sun. We can say I'm one with God. Oh, I'm feeling so much here. And so in this consciousness of oneness, I get to speak the word for each and every one of us. I always see this as a privilege and an honor. It's a privilege and an honor. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity going on over 40 years, 36, going in 36 years as Agape. I get to speak the word for each and every individual all around the globe and everyone here, knowing that right where they are, the presence and the power and the love of God is, and that every organ, action, function of their body temple is made every whit whole, that the emotional body is becoming pure. Right now, the mental body is becoming clean. The physical body is coming into a divine order with the celestial body, and everything is working together for our good. That would be harmonizing prosperity. That would be abundance. That would be wealth. That would be creativity. That would be beauty. That would be harmony. That would be the eternal shooting through all of our relations. Even now. Even now. Even now. Even now. Feel it. I know. Feel it. This is a feeling universe. When Akili was reading the selected reading today by Ernest Holmes, where it said life responds by corresponding. Yes. Life is corresponding to our feeling nature. I'm not talking about our emotional nature, the feeling nature of the presence. I feel good like you know that I should, James Brown. Our feeling nature. It's okay to feel good right now. Ooh, it's okay to feel connected. It's okay to feel in love. It's okay to feel in peace right now. God is responding by corresponding to that divine feeling. Oh, feel that it's all right. Even if you can't see it, feel that it's all right. Even before you can see it, even before you can see it, even before you can physically see it, even before you can physically see it, feel that it's all right. Life wants to correspond to that feeling. That's law. Be not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So your mind and your assets will follow. Yes. Feel it. Help them feel it. Help them feel it. I feel it. I feel it, Lord. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Lord, I know I feel it. You're moving and moving and moving and having your way with me. Lord, move me. Lord, move me. Lord, move me on so I may be a better vessel. Lord, use me. Vessel, use me. Fill me up. Use me. Use me. Use me. Use me. Use Send me. Lord, use I'm yours. Use me. Take me, I'm yours. Take me, I'm yours. Woo. Take me, I'm yours. Take me, I'm right now,
right now,
right now, right now, right now, right now, right now.
I'm yours.
Woo, even
I'm
now.
yours. I'm yours. I'm yours.
I belong
I'm yours.
to the Spirit of the living
I'm
God.
yours. I'm yours. I'm yours.
So we belong to the infinite. We know our home is in the eternal. Our home is in love and in peace and beauty and abundance and harmony. And from our home base, we get to be a blessing for each and every being tuning in right now, and each and every being on our prayer list, and each and every being of the names I shall mention.